Man, we need to add some like smooth transition.
Here it is.
Screen white. So everyone, today is Jeff for Embroidery Works and Matthew L. Emery from Patch Phrase. And we decided to do a random Q&A live. And Matt's going to be showing Velcro on Patch.
That's the idea.
In theory,
I don't have to be full screen, though.
Yeah, you do. Because if you're not full screen, then everybody will see me. And that's, you know, I'm not pretty. I didn't do my makeup.
Oh, yeah, neither did I. I mean, that would be kind of like putting lipstick on a pig, though.
That is interesting what you're doing with your right hand. Are you just adding more pressure?
Well, so the spring is a little not so good. So I'm just holding it down because otherwise it sits up.
Oh.
So I need to replace the spring with one that's not so weak.
Whatever convinced you to try a quilting foot?
I thought it would be better than other ones. And I can actually see it a lot better.
That's the best part.
That is. And then I also got, you're going to have to let me know when comments come in because I don't think I can actually see them.
We have Kim here from St. Augustine, Florida.
But one of the things I wanted was, so there's an extra button here that's programmable. And pretty much any of the functions of this machine, you can make it do that. So I have this one set to do one stitch. So say I needed to come up to a corner and I stopped too early, and instead of trying to very slowly push the foot pedal, I can just tap the button once. Or I can...
Moving on the finesse.
If I do both of them, it'll go backwards one.
And the top button? Oh, there's not one more button?
No, there's only two.
Oh.
And then there's one on the back too, but that one's for the light. So that one's not as exciting.
It is needed though.
Yeah, but then there's the foot pedal. It's so amazing.
It definitely beats Singer Heavy Duty.
Oh, yes, it does. And the fact that I can just fold this up. I mean, this isn't the right presser foot for it, but. So. But, yeah. So comments. I know it's really late.
I'm watching. You've got one.
Oh, gotcha. So this is a Q&A session. So feel free to ask literally anything, even what favorite kind of ice cream we have.
See, I'm not supposed to eat ice cream. It goes straight to my hips.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to eat it either because I'm lactose intolerant. But you know that vanilla ice cream can't keep that away. Was that saying, you know, take a boy out of Wisconsin, but you can't take the Wisconsin out of him?
I've never heard that.
You know, don't you know, eh? Don't you know?
Well, just the A part right there tells me that you can't take it away from Wisconsin.
Yeah, so I had one patch that I had where one of the little dots, I can't actually see what I'm actually doing. There we go. So one of the dots, it got lasered off.
Yeah.
So there's a big spot that was just twill. So using these two buttons, I actually just kept going around it and filled it in and saved the patch.
Gotcha. So we have Candace asking, so what are you playing with there?
This is the Juki DDL 9000. It's pretty fancy. I guess I could just, take the phone out of the thinger. There we go. It's got a fancy screen, which has way too many settings and is super confusing. So I don't do that. I just push these two buttons and make it go beep and feel like I'm in a spaceship. And that's about as much as I do with that.
And then the rest is through an app on the phone, right?
Yep. You can configure all the settings through your phone. And so if I know if I go from if I was in an actual shop where I was sewing shirts and then moving to pants or something, I could tap a phone up to it and then it'll reprogram all the tensions and how many tie-in stitches and tie-offs. And this one also changes how far in the stroke of the feed dogs and how high they come up and everything. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how far technology is. And I think 10 years ago, we had to get up to go change the channel on the TV.
Now we can do it from our phone.
Yep.
Candace says, and I saw a donut holder on your machine. Pretty cool.
Yep, got one here. Needed it for the presser foot thinger.
Thinger.
Yeah, you probably could just say presser foot since that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that the quilting foot's not just have a stiff spring in because I don't think that you use the feed dogs on the quilt. I don't think.
For what?
For quilting, I don't think you use your feed dog.
Yeah, I would imagine you just disable it then.
I don't know. I don't quilt.
Yeah, I don't either.
When we were younger, we used to tie it. With yarn in the middle.
But I got a few done. I've been procrastinating though.
I'm surprised you got 4 stitches.
That I do 4 stitches?
Yeah. With your tie in and your tie out.
Well, I have to change it somehow, which when I looked at the manual, I think it says you hold this button or something. Oh. Yeah, I think that's what it said. We'll just leave it.
We do 4 because that's what we came programmed with.
Yep. It's super fancy, above my level.
How many do you have to do? 25, 30, 50?
I gotta do 25.
I'm really surprised about the quiet.
I can't hear you whenever I'm doing it, so I need to get my headset.
Which is
dead.
You headset. So, like we said, this is a ask us anything kind of a thing. So if you guys have questions, feel free to throw them up on Rotary or otherwise.
I think I got my tension too tight.
Oh, is it pulling out of the needle?
Yeah.
Oh, you're running 40 weight in there?
Yep.
Mine
matches. Yeah, I'm doing the same color as the border, and you can not even really tell I'm stitching it. Yeah, turned out pretty decent, I would say. I used your fuller border. This is the 2mm one you did. If that doesn't look familiar.
I know what it looks like.
But yeah, and I have the stitch length on the machine set up to the same distance as the looping or whatever you want to call it. So it hides it pretty well. I should probably be sleeping, but you know, hatches are calling. Still too tight. I'm down one pair of these snips. This one's got bent somehow.
You should get your head checked, Matt.
I'll go find it.
Yes. My keys are being Velcroed.
Okay, I got it.
Sweet. Oh, I still have a little bit. All right. So we do have questions. Mike asked if they're Velcro back. Yes, they are. Candace, so ask me anything my embroidery is a side business and I'm hitting a total burnout. What do you guys do at that point? I take a break. Personally. What do you do, Matt?
When you're burnt out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually just have to step away for a bit, try to play a video game or two. I hope you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because the screen just shut off.
Now maybe we can't. Oh, I think we lost him. So we're trying to get the echo fixed. That's Matt's phone is echoing. It's picking up my audio and echoing it back. So yeah, Candace, I take a break. I hear you, Matt.
Okay.
I take a break. I go do something else. You don't want to hit total burnout. If you hit total burnout, you're just not going to do anything for a week or two. So I always try to take smaller breaks, do something to relax. My wife and my son are really good, and I can get them to, mind the machine if I need them to. But the biggest thing is you need to make sure that you take care of yourself, because if you hit that total burnout, it's really, really hard when you get burned out that much. I think the last time I hit total burnout, I want to say I didn't do any embroidery for like a week and a half. Mike says, "Oh, I haven't tried the Velcro yet." Matt, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I can't hear you. Marla says, "Echo." Barb, hello. And Mike says, "Still echo, but much better, listenable now." So hopefully you can get your audio back up so I can hear you, at least maybe. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so feel free to fire away with your questions. We'll get them answered. Matt will apparently leave in the middle of the stream. I'm sure he'll come back. But yeah, this is Sunday night. Matt wanted to go live and do basically a 30-minute Ask Me Anything. I'm sitting here playing with 3D printer filament. Adam's project for today was to change out the extruder and hot end for a direct drive system. So he got that. And Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
We can hear you now.
I had to rejoin.
We'll turn him back up so you guys can see his machine better. But that's pretty much what we did today. I did a little bit of testing, trying to nail down a specific look on a design. That's always the fun part, is the amount of testing that you can go through trying to figure something out.
Yeah, you spend like 24 hours testing something that the customer sees for like 10 seconds and are sold on it.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I've had people, they ask me to teach them a technique or something I've learned through testing. And like, if I can teach it, that's great. But, most of the time it's somebody wants me to show them how to do something. It's pretty much just give them a file. Because you should be able to look at a file and extrapolate what's going on inside of the file as it's showing. If you're looking at it in your software, you can measure all those things. And so sometimes it amazes me how many people ask, can you show me how to do this very specific thing, when you can just look at a file and kind of figure out the same thing. So Barb asks, what are you doing to the patch? Zigzagging?
Nope, these are just standard straight stitch because that's all I know how to set this machine up for.
I don't think your machine does zigzag, does it?
There are pattern stitches. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't think it does zigzag because this needle doesn't move. So I don't know how it would do that. So I don't think it can. So I don't really know what pattern stitching is. So I do straight stitches.
I know with my DDL 8700, it's straight stitch only. I can't do patterns at all.
Yeah, it would make sense because, yeah, there's no, yeah.
That's one of kind of the bummer things about going, if you're looking at sewing machines and you're buying sewing machines, the second you get out of the home market type machines and get into the commercial machines, every machine is designed to do one thing. So,
but one thing really well.
Yeah, one thing really, really well. So, like none of my machines, I've got 3 of them sitting here. None of them will do a zigzag. I actually keep a 1950s Singer that I pull out if I need to do a zigzag, because none of these will actually do that. It'll just they're all straight stitch machines, but they do it really, really well. Very quick, nice and quiet. You can go through a lot of layers.
I mean, that was.
We got a question then. Barb says, "Why are you doing straight stitching?"
So, I mean, all I'm trying to do is just sew the Velcro on. So unless if there's a trade technique that I don't know of, that's just the way I've been doing it forever. I guess that was all of the patches. Wow, that was
fast. I don't think people could see that you were adding Velcro onto the back of the patch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's Velcro on the back. I guess we didn't really specify that, but yeah. So I'm putting Velcro on. Let's see. Step away from the machine a little bit. So I got a couple that were kind of fails. So let's see, like this one failed in the laser cutter because it cut onto the border too much, and then when I tried pulling it apart, it ripped it off. Same with these here. Not a very good videographer, I guess.
Well, you are using your phone.
Yeah, and it's draining pretty quick. But then I have my laser cutter to cut out the Velcro blanks. So
I'm going to pull up more questions here. Mike asks, how many did you do and how long did it take?
For what process?
Well, how long did it take you to sew the Velcro on the back of 25 patches?
It's less than a minute each. So I would say probably about 40 seconds at most for each patch. I need my squeezers.
And Eric says, industrial stitch machines are awesome when you need them. I missed the little fleet from my previous shop. You know, I used I've been through like some old Kenmores and some old Singers, and usually when I would sew Velcro on, eventually something would get caught in the rotary hook, and the rotary hook would fail, and I couldn't find a replacement, so I just ended up buying a new machine. Well, a new used machine. And then when I went to my industrial machine, I couldn't believe the difference, and mine's not nearly as nice as Matt's is.
Yeah, I mean, mine, I only got it because when I picked up the machine for Adam and saw that run at the place I got it from, it's like, man, I would love to have those features. And then you were like, hey, this one's in Omaha. And it was like all of the stars aligned. It's like, I have to get it. It's meant to be.
You know, I don't know how long it takes to come to the realization that you need the auto tie-ins, auto tie-offs, and trims. But if you've never sewn without them, you need them. That's where I go. So Barb says, I have an industrial reliable 2600 ZW that zigzags and straight stitches. My Sailrite fabricator only straight stitches. I know that the zigzag machines are quite a bit more. And Mike says, so if you have 2550, how many to Velcro? Sure, 40 seconds each, but do you set aside X hours for Y patches?
Sorry, I just thought I broke it there. How many hours per patch? Well, I figured that each patch probably takes me about 25 to 45 minutes, depending on how big it is for embroidery. And then cutting is about 4 minutes with like setting up the laser and everything, like all averaged out. And then, yeah, sewing the Velcro on. So 45, 55 minutes or so. But then you also got to remember that the embroidery machine, I have a 4-head, so that's 4 patches per that. But then everything immediately goes down to processing one at a time, because I only laser cut one at a time because I don't have the best laser cutter, and it just screws everything up because it gets out of line, and I got to realign it every so often.
Hey, look, I can turn on my mic and then you can hear me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't hear you at all.
I was just saying, it sounds like you need a better laser cutter. We'll get you something bigger.
I do. I would really like to get one of the ones with a computer vision where you just slap it down and be like, find it, and then it cuts it. But
those are super expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to do large scale production, which,
yeah,
I mean, I'm obviously not yet, but that would be what you would want.
You know, I've actually gotten patches where they basically floated the Velcro under the outside border. So the last border was what they used to tie the Velcro on with. And then they used computer vision to cut them out. So they cut the twill and the Velcro at the same time. Not a huge fan of that, but Mike says, I had to Velcro with the marrow. 100 patches. Took me about 9 hours just to marrow, not including the cutting the Velcro, embroidering the patch, etc. Just trying to feel out if I'm on pace or not.
So are you using just scissors, laser? What are you cutting it all with? Because I use the same laser cutter, and I'm a perfectionist, so I don't like having the stitch visible here. I'm gonna step away from this because my phone is gonna die, and I'll have to switch to the other one, which doesn't like this. So I have a finger in the camera.
Yep.
So these are a bunch of patches that I have to cut out yet, so I use the laser cutter for that. So if I open it up and see all of this up here, I just take the cardstock, which is actually right here, and I just staple it down, and then that's how I can cut out every patch. So I just slap the next one underneath it and click it, and then it'll cut it out. And then when I'm done with that, then I'll take the Velcro, and I 3D printed these little index tabs, and then I have a clip here. So hopefully it's not too loud for you. I guess I can mute it. Okay, yeah, because it's really loud when I pull the Velcro. So, and then I just slap that under there. It's a lot easier with 2 hands.
A little bit.
And then I can cut out 4 of the Velcro pieces.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that I just did, I was cutting out 4 at a time, and then I also end it with a slow double cut here, so then I don't have to cut it all. I can pull the next batch right out, which is how I ended up with all of these. So then I just pull that out, pull the next slot over, and then giving away all my secrets. So I got...
Mike says that he cuts Velcro on his aisle line.
That sounds very slow. And but yeah, I would recommend getting a laser. This one was like $400, and there was my finger again. And then a couple upgrades just to make it actually worthwhile, like new lens and mirrors and stuff. But then I have this box, which is my Super 77 box. You can tell that there's a lot of stuff on it because stuff just sticks to the side of the box, which is standing up. And then I can spray it, and then I close the lid, and then it traps all of the overspray in. But then once I have it like that, I guess I could just hit it real quick preferably on the right side of it.
It makes me smile because I have a Super 77 box too.
Yeah, and I do it pretty thick. I didn't close the box, but then I also have a thing of hand sanitizer next because it gets it off pretty quick if you get it on you. Throw this over and move my tripod.
So Candace says that that's the same laser she has, and she likes it.
Yeah, for $400, it gets the job done, but it ain't pretty. And it's pretty small too, so
Mike says it's actually cutting the Velcro on the aisle line is super fast, about 3 seconds per patch for a 4-inch round.
Okay, well that's a lot faster than what I'm...
I know on my laser it doesn't take very long, but my laser's slightly larger.
Are you still there? Or
yes,
am I still...
sir. Yes. Uh-oh, I think Matt died. Or his battery did. One of the two. We'll see how long it takes him to come back. The aisle line cutters, I think it's you got the aisle line 300, I'm guessing. Or 3000, the flatbed one. Those are I've heard those are really, really nice, but it's kind of a bummer that they don't make them anymore. Because I would like to get one if they still made them. One of the things that's not great about the there we go. Let's get there.
Oh, it didn't go through the right audio source.
I can still hear you though, Matt. No, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody gets to look at me now. Smile.
Okay, that worked. You hear me?
So Mike says, my question was just the marrowing, none of the other stuff, just Velcro to patch. Okay. So how long does it take you, Matt, how long does it take you to sew a Velcro to a patch on your marrow machine? Dun, dun, dun. And he's gone anyways. Yeah, Ioline 300. And Mike, I have to check in to that as they're still promoted on their website. Ioline doesn't make it. Obviously, they're not making anymore. Yeah. I've seen a few of them come up for sale, but usually they're really expensive when they do. You there, Matt?
I am.
Oh.
I use my earpiece because it's whatever. It's stuck to the phone that died.
Oh. Did you accidentally overspray it?
No, it was almost dead. It was shutting down when I asked you if you're still there. So
gotcha. So how long does it take you to sew Velcro to a patch with your marrow?
About 10 seconds, I'd say.
So Matt's super fast. Matt, your camera went crazy again.
Did it?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. We'll bring him back now.
Better.
There we go. Now we can
for
see.
now.
Yep. For now, until it breaks out. So Mike says not on a per patch basis, but like a batch of them. 40 seconds per patch isn't the whole story. No.
No, 45 minutes was from starting and stopping of it, or from beginning to finish for the entire process. I could throw the whole thing over to here.
Matt, flip your camera again. Oh, no, now we're good. It worked. Okay.
I wonder if it's something to do with the light.
It could be.
Get rid of that one.
Get rid of that one.
Okay, so bring this guy over here. I don't know what I was doing last on this though, so yeah, I gotta change the, or no, I don't. Nope. The one I want this guy down. So these ones are already, so I actually do Super 77 like you saw me do. And then I lay it up on it, and then I actually put them in my heat press. The heat press is off, I just press it. And then while I have the whole heat press full, then I'll get another batch ready, take those out, put those in, and then they're like super flat. It's good adhesion. And then I don't typically have any problems. But because I don't have any problems typically, it means I will probably end up breaking a needle, right, Jeff?
Yeah, at this moment. Or your camera will do that.
Did it go again?
Yeah, it did. And still not back. We're going to have to invest into a camera for Matt.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip.
It's working right now.
Okay.
Don't sneeze.
Okay, I'm going to go.
I forgot to hit the stopwatch. We're going to have to do that again. Oh, and there goes your camera right at the end. And now it's back.
Just enough time to do a bait and switch. So, I mean, I do have the GoPro here, but it's even worse for webcam.
You've got that little tail. Oh, okay. So Matt says, sorry, guys. I think I'm having trouble getting the question across properly. That's okay. You can always throw popcorn at Matt in the Discord group, too.
Okay, let's do this.
Upside down. And
is it upside down?
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. Sorry, everyone, for getting sick. I got to figure out this way.
Matt's phone has a thing for the color green, apparently. And now he's gone. He hit the wrong button. Yeah, Mike, this is why we don't get many late night lives. Yeah. That would be why. Matt had to sew some Velcro on some batches. I think it went a lot quicker than he anticipated to do it. And now he's back.
That's what happens if you hit the back button. Okay. Let's see. All right, so Mike was saying something.
Yeah, he says this is why we don't get many late night lives.
Okay, let me go and read.
Matt, it just went green again.
How did it go green? This is the front camera.
Yeah, it spazzed out.
Okay, let's go to the infrared one.
Infrared. Yeah, I mean, that's working. So this is what it looks like through night vision if you're sneaking up on Matt's sewing room. Now I can see your Roku and your patch wall and your marrow, and it's broken again. So Eric says live video, right? Exactly. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong during a live. That's for sure.
Well, good thing we're not doing a webinar on this with the phone.
Yeah, no, I've got. I actually have a Mevo camera, so I can run it as an NDI over the web input, and that works pretty well, actually. Slight delay, but not as bad as it could be.
I'm trying to look through the comments and see. I had to Velcro with the marrow 100 patches and took me about 9 hours just to marrow. Yeah, it seems awfully long because that's roughly a lot.
That's roughly a lot. I think it matters though on the shape. I would think. But I don't sew Velcro on with mine. I sew the Velcro on with my Juki afterwards because that makes it easier. It's hiding behind my microphone thing. Yeah, you see it.
Yeah.
No, so Mike says it was a third rounds and 2/3 squares. I can see your screen, Matt. You just have a small green bar, but I can see the marrow.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing what? Because that's what 10 patches per hour, pretty much. So, yeah, 6 minutes each. Because that does seem a little excessive. But you said he's doing what size was 1/3 round,
2/3 squares. That's 5.4 minutes each, according to the internet or my calculator.
No, yeah, I was just trying to use mental math, which was very painful. I don't have my scissors here.
You need to get more of the embroidery nerd snits.
Yeah, I had a whole box of them here. Just showed up one day.
You need to print that little caddy thing and put them in, so they live on your machine. So
that's why you just store it right here.
Yeah, that's the spot for it. Mike says, so yeah, I thought that was a long time too. They were 4-inch rounds, 4x3s and 1x6s. I think that would be like a good time if I was doing it. But I really go slow because, for when people say marrowing's not that hard, it's really not that hard. It's really hard to do a good job. Because if you bump it or wiggle at all, it affects the border and you may or may not have to throw it away. So
yeah.
it's not hard to operate the machine. It's really hard to do a good job operating the machine.
Yeah, there's so many different variables in it too. Since this is a Q&A session, I figured I might as well just try to do something other than, like I should probably make sure all my stuff is ready for my flight tomorrow.
Mike says, now some of that 9 hours with thread breaks and stuff, a few needles, so that's part of it. But I really had no frame of reference. Was my first Velcro batch that large?
Yeah, my problem with doing a lot of Velcroing is it's time consuming and it's not as fun. So I take a break a lot, which only makes it take longer because then you're like, oh, I'm still doing this. And then it's just psychological warfare pretty much. But
Barb says, I will catch the replay as it's almost 11 p.m. here and have to be up early. Very interesting on how you put Velcro on patches. Night all. Good night. We're actually fairly close to you. I'm in Ames, Iowa, so it's almost 11 o'clock here, and I'm pretty sure Matt's in the same time zone. You're in CDT, right?
Yeah, I'm in the center of the universe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like these ones I did with the Marrow machine too. And these ones took me about, I think like a minute each. Now that I got it down. Of course it did. Can you see it at all?
Yeah, it's back now. It's actually better.
Okay, but yeah, I did these and they take about a minute now. But when I first started, it was probably about 3+.
So Candace says, I had an epic fail of 200 patches that took me 2 months start to finish, thus the beginning of the burnout. Not even Velcro, just heat backing.
Well, how many were you trying to do?
She said 200.
Oh, I guess you said that like right away. It was within the first 8 words.
Yeah, I know that, you get those really big, and your camera just died again. You get those really big patch orders, and if you don't have a big multi-head, it's, patches are, there's a lot more manual processing in them. I know the very first time I did a hat, and I finished a hat, and I ripped the stabilizer out and threw it away, I was like, that's it? Just because there was no Velcro, there was no heat seal, patches, they take a little bit of effort, especially in the finishing process. But depending on how you finish them, I like to sit at my desk and watch Netflix while I sit here and cut patches out with scissors, or I take them to the laser and I watch Netflix while they're getting cut out on the laser. So, Matt, your camera's still bad. Mike says, what's your math for the Velcro upcharge? Size, time, cost? I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I think I do pretty much cost of it. I'm sure this is pretty loud.
Actually, it's not.
I don't know. I just lifted the presser foot, but it's not even in.
You lifted the presser foot and your camera started working again.
But yeah, so I mean, it doesn't take too long. I hate saying that because it feels like bragging, but it just comes with practice. I mean, when I first got the machine, it was not very fun. But
well, you first get the machine and you're like, how can anybody make money doing this? It takes me forever.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and I will switch.
But I know I actually charge the same for Velcro and for not Velcro because the iron-on stabilizer or the iron-on heat seal that I use for the iron-on backing costs a little bit more than the stuff I just use for regular heat seal. So for me, it's kind of like a lateral move. So I don't really charge extra for it. I still have all the post-processing time. I don't know what you do, Matt.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I just pull up the cost of it. I'm going to switch over to the desktop before this phone dies too.
He's going to kill all his phones.
Let me just Blue Yeti. Okay, and enter. And I will leave here.
So, Matt, we have an excellent view of your laser bed. This is where Matt likes to start fires. And I can't hear him.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
there
back.
you go. I can hear you.
It's using my Lightburn camera.
Yep.
Okay.
So Mike says, yeah, I'm not struggling as much with the actual marrow stitching. It goes plenty quick until the needle breaks. It's the whole session. I got to find a way to make it more efficient. I don't know if there's an easy way to make it more efficient.
New window.
Dun, dun, dun.
Actually, I guess it's sheets. I type. Sometimes Google, like I'm going to Google Sheets. You would think if I type in Sheets, it'd be like, oh, you want to use our products? Not 15 clicks later.
Oh, Google. We say that, and then the stream's going to die.
They're going to kill me again. Let's see. Oh, I don't want that one.
Should we pull up your screen? Not yet. All right. So Gina says, did Matt say if he's using the laser to cut out patches from the large sheet after the embroidery?
Yeah, so I have the I got a ton of garbage on my desk over here. I have this, so this is one head's worth of patches, and then I will typically cut these out. Well, I mean, this one I would cut out with scissors because I can do it faster than setting it up and jigging it. But if it was something other shape, yeah, I would cut these out to an individual. So like here's one that came out really bad. The bobbin was bad. Yeah, I would use the laser to cut these out.
Yeah, I do the same. I rip them in the sheets down into individuals. I tried doing the because lasers, they have that registration mark like you do on vinyl cutters. It took me a minute, but with the push and the pull of embroidery, I have not successfully been able to use the registration system because generally after a large fill, it shifts. You know, if you're registering off the upper left-hand side or the upper left and upper right, you're it's gonna, all the fills are gonna shift that embroidery over a little bit, and you're gonna be off, and you might get one or two and then ruin all the rest. So I tend to cut them out just the same into individual squares and then put them through the run them through the laser like that.
Okay, I got it.
There we go.
I got a lot of stuff open, so it's a little laggy. So this is my actual pricing sheet of the patch I just made, the circle one, which is not in front of me, but you just saw me do it. If not, watch it on the replay, I guess. But so how I price the Velcro out is at the very bottom here, I put in the cost that it was to buy the spool or the roll of Velcro. And I have two suppliers, so hookandloop.com and WTF Idea. Those are my two main suppliers for Velcro, and I just calculate which one's cheaper at the time. And then that's what I go with. I only do the 4-inch Velcro because that's what I grinded into the side of my laser cutter so I could feed it through. But I wish I had the 6. But and then yeah, so I have this calculated. So Yeah, price per patch comes out to about 33 cents, basically using square inches. So I'm calculating everything, material costs, and then on my second sheet here, which has a padlock because it's proprietary, that is what actually calculates my amount to bill based off of the profit that I would like to see.
Proprietary. I like that.
Yeah. But, and then over here, I like this too, Jeff, because I don't need that anymore. But that was for that one order that we were working on that the guy ran away.
I think we always need you to leave that in the to Jeff category.
We'll just
I'll
go
take
ahead
permission on all of it. Thank you.
We'll go and delete column right now.
Oh, now I'm sad. I'm no longer making a profit off of Matt's work. I'm sad.
Yeah, no more royalties. But then over to the right, it calculates all of my time. So for Velcro, for one patch, I believe that's what this row is. It's 0.03 hours. If you want to know what that is in minutes, it's going to yell at me again.
It should. Oh. So did you like sit with a stopwatch and time everything, or did you just like best guess it?
I kind of guesstimated some of it, and other was like based off of run times and stuff. I mean, all of this is actually calculated based off of stitches per inch, other than the Velcro. But down below, I have time to cut and sew is 0.3 minutes. So
0.3 minutes.
Yeah, so that's like 6 seconds per 18 seconds.
That seems a little on the low side.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But I'm also charging 30 cents to apply it. And then up here, I can click and unselect that, and then it'll drop Velcro out from the pricing. And
so Mike just told us that he's going to start shipping us all Velcro. He's getting it for like $1 a yard. We would like to know where you're getting your Velcro from, Mike. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Is it like actual Berry compliant Velcro, like actual from the company Velcro? Because this is.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting. I don't know if they have Berry compliant in Canada. I mean,
that would make sense because they're not in the US. So
right? Like
it wouldn't matter because, yeah. So for those viewers who are watching that don't know what Berry compliant is, it's a pretty much like a registered mark that you could put on your product that basically says all of the materials that are in this product were manufactured in the United States. And so each individual material has to be Berry compliant, and then you have to be in the United States, and then that way the machines don't matter because like that's a Juki, so that's Japanese or Chinese, whatever that one is from. But it's kind of like organic, I guess you could say. It's the organic of the materials.
Organic material. Yeah. I like that. Backyard grown. We spin our own cotton, dye our own polyester, cut it from plastic bottles. Mike says, no, it's not Velcro brand.
Yeah, so that's probably why. Because if you look at my sheet, I have the Duragrip. That's not Velcro branded. It's just regular hook and loop. It's a bit cheaper, but it also has a lot more, what is that, the sleevage or?
Selvage.
Selvage, yeah. It has that edge so you don't get the full 4 inches. So when I do name patches, which actually I got to sew these Velcro onto these are 2x4, and then I don't get Velcro end to end. But with the stuff from WTF Idea, I can get true 4-inch end to end, and it's a lot nicer. But
so Candace asks, and I honestly don't know the answer to this one. Other than Marrow, are there USA made machines? So I am not aware. That
is Conso?
Conso, I think, is not.
Sailrite?
Sailrite is also, I don't think so.
Melco? No.
No. Sometimes you gotta differentiate between designed in the US and made in the US, because some companies will say designed in the US.
Yeah.
But they're not manufactured here, but it gives you that impression that they're made here.
Or assembled in the US or
assembled, yep. So,
and I believe there's a legal stipulation on how much can be made overseas or how much can be assembled in the US before it's, like if you import a car and it doesn't have wheels and you put the wheels on,
it's not assembled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike says, yeah. So if origin content is critical, that's a different story. And I know the thread that you get that is Berry compliant thread is really expensive.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much. I think it was like $12 or $13 a spool, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't that high. I don't think it was. Unless it was, yeah, maybe actually that might have been like 12.
And they required you to get 6 of each or something like that. It was
which actually apparently that wasn't the case, because I sent someone else the contact information and they bought one of each color, and it was like, seriously.
Thank you, salesman. Mike says, I just bid a job that required 80% plus Canadian content. Yeah, that's.
So is that like Maple Leaf compliant?
Oh,
I got jokes. This is why we
get
do late night lives.
No, I don't know, supplies, demands, machines. I would say, yeah, I can't think of any other machine manufacturer that offhand that manufactures in the U.S. Embroidery machines, I don't think there are any. Sewing machines, Marrow is, but I don't know about that. I can't think of any company. That'd be a good question for a sewing machine salesman.
It would be. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head either. I mean, even like laser cutters and other equipment for the trade are primarily made overseas.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking at getting a hat blocking machine, and they don't make them. They're only made in one country that I can find. They all come out of one country, and it's not the U.S. But Mike says it's usually shortened to CanCon. You might say that, Maple Leaf. Shortened to CanCon.
I like Maple Leaf better.
I'm about $145 for 50 yards of actual Velcro and hook from canso.com. So that is pretty close. The one thing that's really nice about the stuff that comes from Whiskey 24 is that it does not have that selvage edge. So you get full. If it's 4-inch, you actually get 4, and it's a little bit wider, just a hair.
Yeah,
4 inches. And the same thing with the 6. It's a little bit wider than 6 inches. Because that's what I get. I get the 50-yard rolls to 6-inch wide, because sometimes you get that odd shaped patch that you need.
Yeah, I used to order it off Amazon, but then I ran out of, or I bought them out, so I had to go somewhere else. And well, you Google Velcro and hookandloop.com comes up, and then I found the Whiskey 24 or whatever it is off of that tactical sewing group. So
yeah, but the really nice thing about Hook and Loop is they cut your whole row for free. So if you're going to do a bunch of name tapes, you can buy 1-inch wide Velcro, and you can have them cut at every 5 inches. They'll send you the whole roll, 5-inch lengths. So that's one of the really the advantages to that. But then you're also losing. You're not full 1 inch because they have that selvage edge on the top and the bottom.
Yeah, and then when you need a 6-inch one, then you're.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you see something right here.
Yeah, I see one on the other side. You got twins.
Yeah, I'm surrounded. There's like the angel and demon, and it's like I think this one's the angel and that one's demon because it's red. I don't know.
Are you gonna be good or bad?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully someone buys that one so it's not sitting here anymore. But
that'd be helpful, and you wouldn't have two.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't see very many more questions flowing in. So if there's not any more, then I think that we can wrap this guy up because unless you have more you want to show.
No, I mean, I gotta fly in the morning too at 5. So yeah.
Well, there is that too. So I'll pull this comment up from Mike and then we can go ahead and close out. Mike says, I don't mind that edge. It's made it easier to marrow with the overlock. You lose that width on the backside anyways.
That's true. And it does help. One thing that I noticed with especially the circle cuts, yeah, like these, you can kind of, you probably won't be able to see it. If I had my microscope out, you would, but it is a little bit furry. And that does poke out sometimes when you're doing marrowed over it. And then I just hit it with my heat gun.
Yeah.
And then it kind of shrivels it in.
Heat. You use it for just about everything. I often think that if people saw the kind of torture that their stuff goes through before it gets to them, they'd be shocked. Like, hooping a hat is not very gentle on a hat. And I've seen people like they'll take a hat that I've embroidered and they're really, I got to be careful with it. And you're like, you're not going to break it because I've already done 10 times worse to get that thing embroidered. It's fine. But we'll go ahead and pull up here. We've got Gina says, thanks, guys. We have Candace says, I got more done during your procrastination video than I have in a week. I'm glad we could help you out with your productivity. And Mike says, fun surprise chat, guys. So with that, we'll go ahead and close out. That's Matt Enderly from Patchphrase, and I'm Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works. We're both here with the Embroidery Nerd, and we will catch you guys later.